I celebrate you, you celebrate me. With our hand in hand, we are walking in our destiny. Come on and let me show you, yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, it's a celebration.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for joining us. It is a great day to be alive. I'm full of life on today because I have my sister. I call you Pig. I have to be real and say good morning. But for many of those that are watching, you know, they're going to say that's Dr. Lenora Hogan Samuels. I am so proud of you. You know, I just have to say congrats. I have to touch you.
Thank you. I'm still Pig, and some people say Dr. Pig, but it's all the same.
And you are enjoying life to the fullest.
I am.
Now, I'm going to go here, and I have to be Tammie. You're glowing. You have that beautiful Zeta blue on.
That's right.
And I can see that, you know, God has really graced you. You know, we grew up, you know, we're like sisters.
That's right.
And many times people, when they move away, they lose contact with one another.
Right.
But we're still connected. We don't have to see each other every day. But
That's
when
right.
I know that you love me and I love you.
Exactly.
Now, what is your secret for how you look so glamorized right now? Are you a bargain shopper?
I am a bargain shopper. They probably could start a show on me, extreme bargain shopping, like extreme couponing, but I just love it. It's a relaxation to me, and I just like finding things for people that I know. You know, just a good deal is a good deal, and I have to contain myself. It's kind of like an addiction, so I'm working on that, but I love getting myself together, and I feel good about me, so I like keeping myself presentable.
Amen. With that being said, you know, there are women that I talk to and they'll say, well, I'm a blue jean t-shirt kind of a girl. You know, that's just me and that's how I'm going to be. Do you think that, in all honesty, when you dress up, you feel better about yourself?
I do, but at the same time, when I put on my blue jeans and t-shirt, I feel good about me because I like to do different things and have different expressions. You know, at times you have to put on blue jeans and t-shirt. But even in that, I like jewelry, so jewelry will spice it up, or just combing your hair or makeup, anything, just to elevate yourself.
So we need to be prepared at all times.
At all times.
Do you ever go out the house, in all honesty, without, you know, just some foundation or lip gloss or something on?
To my mama's house.
Of course, everybody runs to mom, you know.
Rarely, because I mean, it's in my routine, so every day when I get dressed, that's something that I do. And I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I just have a routine of what I put on, and that's what I stick to.
Well, if you're joining us on this morning, we're going to talk about living life to the fullest, you know, getting out of that dead place that you're saying, well, nobody loves me, nobody cares. And my sister is going to empower you how you have to love yourself first.
Yes.
It's important that we love ourselves. We can't depend on a man to say, oh, you're beautiful. We have to love ourselves first. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that, and oftentimes we get stuck in the rut of having people to put us in places instead of you putting yourself where you are and you letting somebody determine where you go or how you elevate. If you don't put yourself in a higher place, then you'll let anybody come along and have you in a dark place again. You know, you may be in a bright spot for a minute, but eventually if they take that power from you, then you're back in the same place. So I feel it's very important to have yourself at a place that you're comfortable with.
Yeah. And being secure in who you are.
Exactly.
Now, education. You're big on education, aren't you?
Yes, I have several degrees, and
Amen.
too many to talk about, but hey, it's all in what you want. That's what I wanted, that's what I went for, and I help everybody. I still have students who are in college now that I taught 6th grade to, who call me for help, and I think that's important to have a resource. Always network. If you know someone in education, you use them to get the information that you need, because a lot of times people are not aware of where to find information.
Yes.
And so, you know, they may have the thought, well, I think I want to go back to school. And, you know, people should encourage. If someone says that to me, I'm immediately saying, well, you should go back to school. Let's do it. What do you need? You need me to find out something for you? Let me do it for you.
Wow.
Because they may need just that bridge to get them to the next step.
I love that. What is your specialty?
I don't know. I have so many. I mean, I just like things, and I like, if it's something that I like, I put my whole self in it.
I love that. So you go wholeheartedly. You don't try to, you know, mediocrity, you know, just enough to
sometimes we have our hands in too many things, and I do sometimes, but I never take on something that I can't commit to fully. Because a lot of people will call me for tutoring. You know, do you tutor? I do, free at church. That's the time I'm allowed to tutor, you know, anybody. But sometimes I hate to say I'll tutor for pay because that means I have to commit to hours that I may not have because I do so much sorority stuff and community stuff, and so I just like to keep it where I can help you whenever I'm available. And you know, I think it works out for everybody like that.
So you're very community involved as well, but I want to ask this question. What really, I guess, drove you to commit yourself to a career as far as an education? Was it something in your childhood that, you know, you say, I have to do better, I don't like where I am right now? What really encouraged you the most to pursue?
Well, no, my childhood was great. You know, I have very supportive parents, and I know that that foundation helped get me where I am today. But my aunt was a teacher. She retired from teaching, and I always said I wanted to be a teacher, but then as I got to high school, I wanted to do accounting. So my junior college degree was accounting, and I had a scholarship to Mary Holmes, and you know, there I left there with a 3.8 grade point average. So when I went to Mississippi State, I was just stuck in that field. So my first 2 degrees actually were general business and marketing. And then after that, I figured, you know, it's not a lot of communication. Like, I'm a people person, and to me it was just boring. And so I started subbing. And as a sub, I subbed for a teacher assistant who was on maternity leave. And so I was there for like a whole 9 weeks or something like that. And just seeing those kids and just getting the love from them and just helping them get to where they need to be, it was just like my calling. Like, I really feel like I'm called to do what I do. And so even not being in the classroom right now, I see all my babies that I taught 6th grade at high school, and I still know their weaknesses, and I still can go and say, are you keeping your notes? Are you organized? You know, and they think it's funny, but they come to me for help.
I love that. I love it. We're going to come right back and talk about, you know, just the important role that teachers play, educators play in our children's lives, because they spend more time, in all honesty, with our children. What is it, 8 hours a day? Than parents do. I mean, by the time the parents get home, they're exhausted, they're tired.
Exactly.
So it's important as educators that we do what we are commissioned to do with our young people. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Come on and let me say yeah, yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah, it's a celebration. Say yeah, yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Hi, my name is Trinity Tubman. I'm inviting you to come join the Tammie Tubbs Show Monday through Friday on the CW Network. See you there.
Attention Mississippi and surrounding areas. It's the $39 vehicle acquisition event at Car City Used Car Superstore in Tupelo. If you've got just $39 to put down, you can take over payments as low as $79 a month and drive the vehicle of your dreams today during our grand opening celebration. Our big selection means a price and payment to fit any budget. Every make, every model with guaranteed credit approval. We say yes. You're approved. Drive away today. $39 down and take over payments as low as $79 a month at Car City in Tupelo, where you come first.
Hey, we're back. I want to address my educators right now, those that are watching that are saying, you know what, I'm burned out. I've heard the stories from many of our young people, and, you know, going into the classroom, and it's all about the money. You don't have to learn. I'm going to get paid anyway. And I don't believe that as an educator that we should even speak those words in front of our young people. You know, as teachers, how do you refuel yourself to make sure that you're staying refreshed enough to teach?
Well, first of all, it's not about the money, because you know teachers really don't make a lot of money.
None.
But you know, I'm against that as well. But to keep yourself current and motivated, you have to remember the main focus. The main focus is the student. And you know, you think of it like a business. School is a business. And if you're not producing the service and getting the final product, then what's the point? If you're not remembering the main mission of your job, then you're either helping somebody or you're turning someone the wrong way. So I feel you have to remember your main purpose and why you're in it. And reflection is the best thing. If you're not reflecting on your day's lesson or day's journey or even the end of the year, you know, I know we're very busy, but at the end of the year you should reflect and say, okay, I'm going into a new year. Last year, the kids, every year they seem like they're not motivated, they don't want to do anything. Well, we don't know what they're going through. And at some point you have to look at them from where they're coming from and touch on where they are to get them where you need to get them, because if you don't, you're not doing what you're there for.
I love that you just said we have to realize what they're going through. And it's important as a teacher to sometimes just pull back and just read. I know in North Carolina, we would actually have to read our students' files before we would even go into the classroom. So I would know what child was going through abuse,
Right.
what child had been neglected, who was in a foster home.
Right.
So if they retaliated, I know that there are issues that are going on.
Exactly.
As a teacher, do you feel like we need to sometimes sit back and say, you know what, I do need to have a one-on-one conversation with that specific individual, especially when they're yelling and cursing
Right.
you out instead of retaliating?
There's usually an underlying factor in that. But not even so much as knowing what they're coming from, but I like to keep in mind that, everyone is not where I am, or everybody's perspective is not like mine. So when you think about, okay, I want you to do better, and you're retaliating, but I have respect for you, and I'm demanding respect, from you. So at some point, even if you don't want to get what I'm teaching to you, I'm going to put it to you in a way that you will receive it. And when you leave my class, if you don't do anything but say, hey, I want to do better, just because she expects me to do better. And most of the time, that's how I confronted my class. Look, I'm here for you. You may not like math, but you will when you leave me. So, just finding a way to connect. A lot of teachers, and I'm sure you know this, but a lot of teachers always give you the list before school.
Yes.
Watch this one, this one, this one, this one is bad. Those were my challenges. I look forward to it because I'm like, this is a new year. I don't know anything about you as far as they knew it. But when you come to them in a way that, I'm here for you, whatever I can do for you to get you where you need to be, let's do it. And motivation is easy when you just look at it. I want you to be this. What do you want to be? Okay, this is what I can do for you to get you where you need to be. Because if they can see the final them, then maybe they can make connections to get to that step.
And I'm so happy that you brought that up, because a lot of our young people, they don't understand that your record followed you.
Exactly.
And teachers do stigmatize you
They
based
do.
on your
They
previous behavior, your suspensions, and even your grades.
Right.
And there may not be, a Dr. Samuels that may say, you know what, I'm not going to take your advice or your suggestion with this specific student. I want to get to know my students one-on-one. They sometimes come in with an attitude, oh,
Exactly.
there she is.
And it depends on how you respond to that. Every action has a reaction, and it depends on how you react to what they're giving you. If you start yelling and acting like them, then who's the bigger person? Who's the adult? So you have to remember at times that, they're in a place that, for whatever reason, they're not comfortable with. So you got to lay it out where they're comfortable enough to receive what you're giving and to take that step to get to the next level. Because I'm sure every class has the next step that you got to get to, and it all plays a part in graduation. So.
Oh, yeah. Now let's shift to parents. Have you ever been cursed out?
Oh, yeah.
What was your response?
It was hurtful. It was hurtful because this particular parent I knew, and I was just trying to help her child who had been in trouble, and excuse me, and at the time, this parent, I guess, was struggling with the child and took it as, I didn't ask for your help. So some don't want your help, but, at that point, that was when I said, okay, that's fine. I step back. You won't be able to save them all, but, those you can, you save.
And it's all about just doing your job.
Exactly.
Eventually they'll come back and say, you were right.
Exactly. And even if they don't, they will think it.
Oh, yeah. Some will not say it, because
Right.
of prideful, attitude, but it's okay.
Right.
So look into the camera right now and just encourage a parent who feels like giving up on their child. They're at their wits' end. They're behaviorally, academically challenged. They don't know what to do. Just encourage a parent right now.
I would definitely say support your child. Even before I had a child, I just thought about my nieces and nephews. If you're not giving them what they need, every child has something that they need to, to elevate to the next level.
Definitely.
And if you're not giving your child what they need, then how can anybody else? So, if you don't do anything but pray and just support what they're doing, I think that would be the best result. Just be there for them. Go to the schools. Nowadays, the school has websites where you can check your child's behavior. You can check your child's grades. So just use the resources that are available and use the school counselor and everybody else there. That's what they're there for.
And I love that you use the resources. Go to school.
Go to school.
Your presence
Exactly.
can change the atmosphere.
That will change the atmosphere of the school, first of all, because they know, okay, I see her. If your child acts up in my class and I see you, I know I can call you. But, just being present in your child's life will make a difference. Well, my mama cares, so I'll do better in my class. So,
Oh, yeah. Just
so, yeah,
your
just,
presence.
Just presence and just knowing that, hey, I want you to do better. You had a D, I want you to do better.
Yeah.
Some parents are like, well, let's just quit. And that's the worst thing to do. And I would never be negative as far as, you know, encouraging them to go the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Just be supportive and keep praying.
And-
You know, I know it's hard. Different people deal with different things. You know, it may be a no father in the household or no mother or what. Some kids don't have either parent, but just the support and knowing that they have someone there for them.
And I love that because you just set us up for the next segment. Mississippi has a very high dropout rate. We're going to talk about that. We should never encourage our children to drop out. We should encourage them to keep going, even if it means getting a GED.
Exactly.
Some form, you know, of education is better than none. We'll be
Exactly.
right back, you guys.
Come on and let me say yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah. It's a celebration, say yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Hi, my name is Trinity Tubbs, and I'm inviting you to come join the Tammie Tubbs Show Monday through Friday on the CW Network. See you there.
Attention Mississippi and surrounding areas. It's the $39 vehicle acquisition event at Car City Used Car Superstore in Tupelo. If you've got just $39 to put down, you can take over payments as low as $79 a month and drive the vehicle of your dreams today during our grand opening celebration. Our big selection means a price and payment to fit any budget. Every make, every model with guaranteed credit approval. We say yes. You're approved. Drive away today. $39 down and take over payments as low as $79 a month at Car City in Tupelo, where you come first.
Come on and let me say yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah. It's a celebration, say yeah, celebration time.
Let's talk about this dropout rate. Why do you feel like our children are dropping out of school?
Well, first of all, a lot of parents don't even realize that the dropout rate for Mississippi is like 27% right now. And some are dropping out because of the state tests. Can't pass those 4 subject area tests, and you know, which you have to encourage your child to be prepared, and that goes back to motivation. Some students are not paying attention in those classes, and then when it comes down to the test, they don't know the material.
So, okay, help me to understand this. This is new to me. If they pass their core classes, but do not pass the state test, they don't graduate.
They don't graduate.
Wow. Okay. What
They
does-
do have several times to retest,
Mhm.
but no, if they don't pass the test.
And the state test consists of what subject areas?
U.S. History, Biology 1, Algebra 1, and English 2,
So if
10th grade English.
they fail those,
Mhm.
they will not graduate.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's one reason that they're dropping out. And, you know,
And
a
in
lot
order-
of them get to senior year and they've retested several times and they don't pass the test and they just drop out because they're not graduating.
They're discouraged,
Discouraged.
feel like a failure.
Mhm.
I have no one to help me. And I'm just thinking about I don't know about you, but I was a straight A student, valedictorian of my class, but I was, in my mind, I was not a great standardized tester.
Right.
I would freeze.
Mhm.
I would overthink.
Exactly. And
So-
we have that in place. And then we had a social worker at our school who helped certain students who had test anxiety. And one particular student, she failed every test until her senior year. And when the social worker pulled her and told her, look, you will not change your answer. She was a great student. You will not change your answer. You have a limited amount of time, even though it's not a time test. The longer she had, the more she would go back and change answers. So things like that come into place. But a lot of schools have things in place to help those students. But you have to realize that, you know, these kids struggle with test taking. And, you know, that's not a consideration from the state, but you have to pass it.
And once again, our parents have to be actively involved.
Exactly.
You
have to
how
be.
many times are they allowed to take tests?
As many as you like. Only the first one counts for the school accountability. But as many times, I mean, even after your graduation day, you still can take the test. You
Oh,
still
wow.
can take it. So there are things in place to help, you know, decrease the dropout rate. But, you know, most of them are very frustrated at that point and just quit.
And they quit in the midst of it.
Mhm.
And then you have, the alcohol, the drugs,
Right.
teen pregnancy. That plays a role as far as
That plays a role,
dropping
and
out.
also just students who struggled from middle school on. Usually those are the ones that will end up dropping out because they don't have support from the parent or from the teachers. So,
wow, what do we do? I mean, my heart is crushed listening to you right now
Right.
because I'm thinking, what if in 1994?
right,
What if? I'm sitting there thinking, would I have graduated?
right,
Because I had test anxiety.
right,
I was one of those students who would go back, change the answer, and my first thought was the correct,
What's the
answer,
correct answer?
but I would overthink.
right.
And so I'm sitting here saying, wow, but resources are available.
Resources
to help
are
them.
available. Most schools have after-school programs.
Mhm.
Most of them also have remediation periods set up for those students who are at risk to come in and do practice. Our school district even has a program called USA Test Prep that has sample questions for every test area, and you can go in and do practice tests every day. And the parents are usually aware of it, but how often do you make them get on it? So you have things in place, and even in my position, I pull students who fail the test and I make packets for them. All the practice tests are on the State Department's website, so there are practice tests on there, and I'll make a packet with the practice tests, the answers, how to answer the questions, anything that the teachers give me to put in there. But I also look at their previous test scores to see the area that they failed in.
Yeah.
If you took the English test and you failed, you did horrible on vocabulary, then you need to go to USA Test Prep and work the vocabulary questions and just practice and try to improve. But you have to do something. It's just like a doctor giving you medicine to fix a problem. When you look at those test scores, you have to figure out a way to address what you're messing up.
Oh yeah. Wow. It just, behooves me because when we were growing up, education it was like you go to school, you get a degree, you become successful,
Right.
And of course you serve God.
Exactly.
That's what we were taught.
Exactly.
Nowadays, it's just like I could care less.
Right.
Why do I need an education?
And that's the bad part, and it starts with the family. A lot of them, stray away, even with good parents, but if you have the family support, then, you stay on them about school, and, because those who drop out, believe it or not, they end up the ones in jail or hurting somebody. So, if we stick to what you just said, God, family, and education, the world will be a better place.
It
But,
would be.
you never have all the solutions, but
Yeah.
you do what you can do.
Yeah, that just amazes me. Talk to a sister right now who's even as far as the GED. Most people have for years, they've talked down about the GED, but I believe I would prefer to have a GED versus nothing at all.
Well, our district actually has a new program in line, which is set up at the alternative school. They have a GED program, and they pace the students on preparing for the GED, and we get credit, as far as accountability, and I know accountability with state standards or whatever.
Yes, definitely.
But GED gives some credit, whereas a dropout loses points and lowers the rating on the school. And a lot of parents strive on looking at the rating of a school,
Definitely.
but a lot of things are out of our control. And even this year, they've just changed it to where the dropout rate and graduation rate will not affect the accountability, which is strange since our main service is graduating students,
Yeah.
but for this year it will not count. So in the ratings, you will not have a true picture of what
What's
the
really-
school produced.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's another story in itself.
Right.
But I want you, because my heart right now is just really geared toward, females particularly. It's hard for us sometimes as being women, but when we don't have an education or we don't have, just knowledge of how to make our lives better, to live a full life.
Right.
But I want you to just encourage someone right now to don't give up. Even if they fail the test, to don't
Right.
give up.
Never give up, because you never know, this next time may be your time to pass the test, or just look at different options that you have. If you have the option to do the GED in your school, definitely go that route, because some of the curriculum or classes set up may take you longer to get through.
Yeah.
And then passing the test, that may be a chance if you, like you said, test anxiety. But just don't give up. Find other options to get through, because even with a GED, you can go on to the community college level and then advance further, but never give up and just find your purpose and do what you can do to better yourself.
I love it. I love it. Now tell us how we can contact with you, because there may be some parents that are in awe right now and they want to find out if they're, what can they do as far as tutoring,
Right.
or just helping their child to pass the state test. How can we contact you?
You can contact me at lenorahog@yahoo.com, LENORAHOG @yahoo.com. I am at Starkville High School as the Curriculum Technology Specialist, so you can reach me at Starkville High School, 662-324-4130. Or I go to New Zion United Methodist Church. This is where I tutor on Wednesday nights, which is on South Montgomery in Starkville. So feel free to contact me at any time.
I love that. I love New Zion because I remember that's where I grew up, in the community of Zion. As my grandmother would say, Zion Franklin.
That's right.
And the pastor is
Reverend Tyrone Stall. That's my cousin, and he puts me to work.
Amen. All about family.
It
when
is.
they see it in you, they're going to push you.
It is.
To pull everything out that God has in you. Any lasting words you want to say to anyone right now, just in regards to education?
Just be blessed and succeed. I mean, I have 7 degrees, so I'm an advocate of education. I may owe a lot, but hey, God is good.
Amen. Well, guess what, you guys? Our time is up. I love you all so very much. And remember, education is the key. When you don't know what to do, fall on your knees and pray, and God will answer. There's no doubt about it.
Amen.
He's always there. Love you so very much. We'll see you next time. Be blessed.